Hello, and welcome into the Purple Penguin Craft Room. I'm Vicky. Today's craft is going to be a little stocking decor. So this little stocking guy, and I call him decor because you can basically put whatever you want in him. You don't have to be a vase or floral holder. You can put candy canes or whatever you want in him. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into crafting. The supply list is going to be at the end of the video, and a picture as well. So go ahead, you can pause the video at the end and get that supply list. Go ahead in the comments, let me know what would you put in your stocking when you make this yourself or make it for a friend. What are you going to put in it? Go ahead and put that down in the comments for me so I can know what you guys are going to do with yours. All right, let's get crafty. We're going to jump right into this craft and get started. We're going to start off with the boot, and then we will do the base after this. If you've watched any of my other videos, I do like doing these just for the forms themselves, because you never know. They make for really good forms. We're going to go ahead and keep some of the pieces on this one. We're going to keep the Merry Christmas, maybe the snowflake here. Probably not going to keep that, but we'll set that off to the side. And basically, all you need to do is kind of find the start or the end, and these are not glued. If you've ever taken these things apart, they are not glued. They're really, that's why I really kind of like them. Once you get it figured out, there we go. Okay, of course, that's probably going to be the end piece. So let's try and find there we go. Okay, let's take that off and try and find the other portion of it. They come in sections. I don't even know how oh, there it is. Got it. This can be a little messy too because this stuff kind of falls apart. But hang on to this. You can decorate little trees with this. You can make other kind of ornaments and stuff. Definitely just save everything because you never know. This one is all over the place. A little bit of work to get our form here. All right, we've got that. So now we've got our little boot form. So these do come apart. So if you really want two projects, you can take it apart and do it on a flat surface. And then so it just kind of sticks up away from the flat surface. That could be fun too if you wanted to do something like, you know, Santa's boots or something like that. You could definitely, you know, do it like that. But we're going to go ahead, maybe a project for another day. That kind of sounds like a good idea, actually. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to keep ours together because I do want this to be a shelf sitter. We're going to go ahead, we're going to take off all these little nubs. These are my wire cutters. Some people call them side cutters, but basically these are wire cutters. I got these in the floral department. And Michael's or Joann's or somewhere. They even have them if you go to the hardware store. They'll have wire cutters there too. I just like them because they're flat on one surface, so that you can get closer to the base of this. Sometimes I leave these on. Just depends on how you're wrapping it or what you're doing to your surface. In this case, I don't need them. Again, this is going to be kind of messy. Get these things all over the place. Sometimes they are in weird angles. Get these. All right, there we go. So now we got all of this. Push to the side here. All right, so now we're going to kind of do a combo of wrap and glue. And so the plan is to go ahead, and I want to do different textures on this. So I do have this burlap. It's ribbon burlap in red. I believe this is from the Dollar Tree. I do have some fabric. This is just some white fabric. Scrap fabric is basically all this is. And the reason I even have the scrap fabric is because burlap you can see through. So I kind of want this to be under my burlap. So we're going to do it like that. We are also going to be using some twine in this. So the parts that we're going to wrap in twine are going to be anything that we can wrap this direction and this direction. And we're going to do the burlap to kind of cover this direction. Because if we were wrapping, there would be a whole lot of thickness right here because of trying to fill in all of this. So I'm kind of strategically placing this a little bit here. So we're going to kind of get our extra fabric, and you don't have to do this. I'm just doing the extra fabric because, like I said, the burlap you can see through. So if I was to do just the burlap on this, you're going to see your form underneath. So the fabric is just to kind of help out to where I don't see my form underneath. So we're going to do, and it's okay if I get on this part and this part because we're going to wrap it, right? We're going to wrap it in the twine, so it's not going to matter. So we're just going to take our hot glue and place it on here. To be careful using the hot glue and burlap, even sometimes the fabric. I have a glue gun that does hot and low temp. Sometimes I do the low temp just because it won't burn you if you do accidentally touch it, or it won't burn you as bad, I guess. Can't guarantee it's not going to burn you at all. I'm just going to trim up some of my extra stuff that parts that I don't need. Just to make it. So I'm just gluing this in sections. Like I said, we're going to pull this. I don't need any of all of this here, so I'm going to cut this. And basically, kind of just work with it. See, the easiest way to be able to do it is not to think about it, just to kind of just do it. This is all extra, we don't need. And you could choose to, if you don't want to even to wrap the shoe like I'm doing, you could just cover the whole thing in fabric if you want. Make it easier. I said the main reason I'm even doing this is because of the burlap. It's primarily why I'm doing it. This is just scrap fabric, so you can do whatever color you want, really. It's just gonna, whatever color you do, just remember it's gonna show up underneath your burlap. Okay, there we go. So like I said, we're going to cover this portion and actually this portion here with the cord. So, flap now. See, and then you're seeing the white instead of this. This would be a good point. Let's try and get your little fingertips here. Definitely recommend finger protectors because the burlap, you will, the glue will come through. It is coming through. And you get all these glue strings and whatnot. If you use a heat tool or a blow dryer, you can remelt all this, and it will look more clear. We're just going to take heat tool here. You can see it just remelts. There we go. Makes it look much better. All right, so now that we've got our heel done, we're going to start to do the wrap. We're going to start doing the wrapping. Now I'm using twine, and this twine is from Walmart. It is actually in the floral section, but you don't have to use twine. You could use yarn or anything that you want to wrap it with. Like you could use like embroidery, cord, like I said, or you could even do strips of fabric if you wanted to do that. Would look kind of cool too. All right, we're at the end here. We're gonna cut it off right here at the end, towards the back of our boot here. So there we go. So now we got the top portion of it wrapped. Now we're gonna do this portion. So we're gonna start here, just go out from there. And periodically you're going to want to do some glue. You don't have to do the glue for every single one, just periodically to kind of help hold it together. Okay, we're going to actually end it here at the bottom.
There we go. So now we've got our heel and then wrapped. All right, it's already starting to look really cute. Now we want to go ahead, we're going to do the top part of our sock there. I have this ribbon, and this is from, I believe it's from Hobby Lobby. It's almost like a fur. It's only around Christmas time, so I usually get a couple of them. It is wired, so there's wire in the end, so you can pull that out if you want. I'm going to leave it. We're going to do 2 rows of this because it's not very thick, so we're going to do 2 rows, but we're going to cut it off on each one. So we're going to start it. And then wrap it around. And then when we get back to this point, we're going to cut it. And then we'll do the same thing with the other one. All right, so then we've got the fur. So it's really starting to look like a boot now. Like I said, all of this can be cleared up with a heat tool. All right, perfect. So cute. All right. Now we're going to set that off to the side for just a second. We're going to bring in our wood base. Like I said, this is a wood base you can get at like Michael's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, you know, in their wood sections. They're usually a couple of a dollar or so. I believe Hobby Lobby has like a pack of like 4, I believe. But I took this and I cut my own. So I cut my own wood. I have my own saws, my own things. So I just made it. And then let me just sand this down really quick here. If you are interested in purchasing one of these from me, that I do use, this is just used pallet wood is all I use. And I do have a website, purplepenguincraftroom.com if you're interested. let me know, and I will actually make a listing for some of these ovals if you're interested. All right. We're going to go ahead and stain it. We're going to use our antique wax. I still have a little bit left before I get a new, I'm going to get the Waverly one next. Just use a damp baby cloth. You can use just a damp rag. You can actually just wet your wood first if you want to do it that way. You know, however you want to do it. You see how mine has got like these grooves in it? If you don't get it in with the rag or towel or something, you can go ahead and use a paintbrush to get in those cracks and crevices. Sometimes I like that look. Or you can just sand it down more, make it smoother. Totally up to you. Use the antique wax just like you would a stain. You could use watered down paint, would also work. I'm going to do the front and the back. Next, this is recycled wood, so it does come with, see, it's got a hole in there, but that's okay. I don't mind. It's a little more rustic looking. It is going to be a little darker. When it dries, it will be lighter. Okay. So we're all dry. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our stocking on here. We're going to use plenty of glue. Drip of glue there. Clean it up a little bit. There we go. I'm kind of leaning towards, it's kind of thickened. We're going to do a little bit of twine around the bottom here. Kind of finish off the edge a little bit here. There we go. Just going to give it more of a finished, shoving that in there, cord in there. So now we want to bring back, so we took off before, we took off this Merry Christmas, right? Make sure we get all that little white stuff off there. I'm going to try and reuse this, so we're going to try and get all these little legs off. So now it has these little nubs in the back. I want to see if we can cut those off. There we go. Mary. Christmas. So we're going to put them back on. I'm going to hold it down for just a minute here. We're going to do the same thing with our little snowflake. Right. So we got our Merry Christmas in there. So cute. Now, I can reuse this too if we really want to. I'm kind of leaning towards not using that. I do have, these were this Ashland little ones. They're a little more, I don't know, realistic looking in comparison. I kind of like them a little bit better. We're just gonna put these instead on here. I kind of like that a little bit better. All right. So at this point, you can kind of leave it like this. You could stick candy canes in here. Like that would be really cute in itself. I'm going to go ahead. I've got this pick. This is probably from last year. I always get the picks when they go on sale, so it's like end of the year, kind of get them 70 to 90% off. And we're just going to stick that in there. But it needs a little bit more. I've got these from the Dollar Tree last year, 2022. They're just pine. It's just sticks of pine. We're just going to shove some of these in here. Fill her up a little bit. But you can change this out to whatever you want. Now, pictures and a full list of all of the supplies I used are going to be to follow at the end. So definitely keep on coming back, and happy crafting.